Hello and welcome to News 9. The football fans don't need to wait for the weekend. This time the Premier League starts as early as tonight itself. In fact, a little past midnight India time. There are some interesting duels lined up for match week 5, but before moving on with our predictions, let's have a quick glance at the match week 4 games where 80% of our results turned out to be as per our predictions. United's win against Southampton, Brighton defeating Leeds, Chelsea's triumph over Leicester, Liverpool battering Bournemouth, City's win against Palace, Arsenal booking their 4th win of the season against Fulham, Wolves and Newcastle sharing spoils and Spurs bagging their 3rd win of the season were all predicted rightly in our prediction show. I am Hardik Agrawal, News 9 football analyst, back with another episode of Premier League predictions. One of the most fascinating duels of this week will feature the London foes Tottenham Hotspur and West Ham United at the London Stadium at 12:15 am IST Thursday. Just to avoid any doubts, that shortly after midnight on Wednesday. The Spurs side are undefeated in the season so far, whereas Hammers managed to end their goal drought with the 1-0 win over Villa last week, courtesy to the goal by 4-0. The current series of events and Kane's form suggests that Spurs are well poised to win this one. The first big clash of the 5th match week will be between Chelsea and Southampton. The teams are slated to meet at the St. Mary's Stadium at 12:15 am Wednesday in less than 6 hours from now. Chelsea showed character as they overhauled Leicester 2-1 despite going down to 10 men. Sterling scored a brace for the Blues. They could book 2nd consecutive win of the season against Saints, who registered a 0-1 loss against Manchester United last week. Arsenal will be hosting Aston Villa on Thursday at 12 midnight IST. Gunners have registered 4 successive wins at the start of the season for the first time since 2003 and 4. They are in remarkable form, especially their central attacking midfielder Odegaard and Jesus, and they could get past Steven Gerrard's men in this one. Villa were excellent on transitions against West Ham last week, but their lack of form has resulted in 3 losses in the last 4 matches. After pulling off a 4-2 comeback against Crystal Palace at the Etihad Stadium in the past match week, citizens would be hosting Nottingham Forest this time around. Steve Cooper headed Forest side have shown promise in the attacking third, but City's personnel of Silva, Gundogan, KDB and Haaland would be hard to handle for the newly promoted Forest side. The citizens could rip them apart in this one. Liverpool are up for another home fixture, this time against Eddie Howe's Newcastle. It won't be as easy as it was against Bournemouth last week, in which they ran a riot against the Cherries, ending the match with a staggering scoreline of 9-0. However, Newcastle are pretty solid and are in top form currently. Both teams press high upfield, therefore a lot of goals could be witnessed at Anfield in this match, but the Reds have the manpower to win this one eventually. Manchester United would travel to Leicester to play against the Foxes at the King Power Stadium at 12:30 am IST on Thursday night. The Red Devils have redeemed themselves after 2 initial losses in the season. The team looks much more balanced, quick and firm. Fernandes, the current captain of the team, has been the governing force of the team. This could be a close one as the pressure is mounting on Brendan Rodgers since the Foxes sit at the bottom of the table with only 1 point. But Erik ten Hag's focus suggests that Red Devils would book their 3rd consecutive win of the season. After a 4-2 disappointing loss against Manchester City in the last match week, despite leading in the first half, Palace would host Brentford at the Selhurst Park. Brentford have been averaging 2.3 goals per match, whereas Palace have been superb tactically. Considering the strengths and weaknesses of these 2 teams, there appears a scenario for a tough fight where the points might be split eventually. Brighton travelled to London for a duel with Fulham on Tuesday night. Graham Potter's men are undefeated in the season so far. They are in top form, but it won't be easy to surpass Fulham at home. But the XG, which is expected goal, of both the sides suggests that Brighton could come out on top in this one. Leeds host Everton after their 0-1 loss against Brighton last week. The Toffees faltered at the start of the season, but they have shown promise in their last 2. With the arrival of Maupay, they could win this one as the pressure is mounting on Frank Lampard as well, as he hasn't booked a single win in the last 4 games. So, Everton could win this one. Scott Parker's Bournemouth would be welcoming winless Wolves in the 5th match week. The Cherries would be eyeing to redeem themselves after last week's 0-9 defeat, but their current status suggests that they could succumb to the attacks of Wolves, who have been unfortunate in the season so far. News9 Sports anticipates Wolves to bag their first win of the season. That's it from this week's episode. If you like this piece of information, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Enjoy the games in the midweek. See you on Friday. You can also read interesting sports stories in the sports section of News9 Live website. Go check it out now. This is Hardik Agrawal signing off.